Welcome to another top 5 with Kris 5 guys. Enough time has passed so we can really see what the best decks in the game are right now. So in this video I'm gonna give you 5 of the best decks, talk about mulligans, win rates, as well as some general tips for them, so you guys know what to expect with and against them. But we're also gonna check out all of the other working archetypes for each individual class, thanks to HS Replay Premium. So if you don't see your favorite class on the list, don't worry, we're still gonna talk about them at the end. Hope you enjoy the video, and if you do, a like and subscribe would be awesome, and don't forget you can hire for some Hearthstone coaching. Now, let's get into the video.
You are not prepared!
Lately, I have been seeing some negative comments about Raid Shadow Legends gameplay during my live streams, and I hear you guys, but in the end of the day, I'm doing what's best for me and my content, and it's just a smart idea for me to have more than one game as a streamer and YouTuber, cause in the end of the day, this is my livelihood, guys. I get it, Raid Shadow Legends is not everybody's cup of tea, but I do indeed love the game, dare I say more than Hearthstone right now, and that is why I made myself a fresh new YouTube account for it, and I'm uploading or streaming there 5 times a week as well. So this is not just a sponsorship or anything like that, guys. I actually believe in this game. I want my channel to succeed, so if you guys would like to support me for free, check out Raid Shadow Legends. The game is really much better than you might think. I know it has been getting a lot of hate. I know it has a very aggressive advertising strategy, but the game itself is actually really good. So if you want to help me out, support the channel for free and download Raid through my download link, and you're gonna get yourself some amazing rewards while knowing you're actually helping me out as well. Thank you for supporting my dream. Now let's get into the best decks. So the first deck on the list is obviously going to be Imbue Pally, and this deck has really received a lot of support from the latest patch, mainly because of the 1-mana hero power. I honestly did not believe this is going to have this big an impact for this deck, but apparently that's all the deck really needed. We're not even seeing the new mini set card that draws you extra cards for imbuing your hero power, which is kind of interesting, but we are indeed seeing Ferak in here, which can be a straight up extra win condition for you if everything else fails. This deck is not even running Shala Drusilla in here anymore, even though I was gonna say Ferak is the only way you corrupt it, and with Ursol you could also be repeating that, but no, we're only running the Renew Flames in here, which is also a pretty solid spell. I do have a dedicated guide about a deck like this, so definitely give it a check. There's gameplay in it, detailed mulligans, all of that good stuff, so you definitely will be better off watching that one instead of just the top 5. What this deck also has is Nomelia as well as Anachronos, so you have a lot more removability, but for you to really be good with this deck, you gotta know which breakpoints you want to be really delving into your imbued dragons. And the first stop you would like to consider would be on imbue number 3, and after that on imbue number 7 you could be getting a lot of that warrior good dragon, which would be pretty solid. And after that, at 10 mana you also have plenty of amazing dragons too. Matchup wise, we don't have that much stats for this one, so let me go ahead and check a similar variant with a lot more sample size. Like, look at this nonsense. Both of these, that's kind of insane really. Let me check this one, I guess. And here we can see the matchups. Well, nothing but green, guys. Except for Fishing Priest, everything else solid green. Even though I do believe Protoss Mage also has an upper hand over you, but I might be wrong. At least according to the stats I am. For the mulligan, we can see you are going to be looking for your good cheap stuff. With the Bitterbloom Knight, Ages of Light is amazing. Gold Battle Drake is your best early game imbue cards. Red Scale Dragon is also basically the Gold Battle on a stick, even though you could draw the Dreamweaver instead out of it. Righteous Protector is better than nothing on turn 1, and if you're curving into the Flutter Wing, that also could make some sense. And on the coin, again, you want to be curving out with the good imbue cards, so mulligan accordingly. For other good Pally decks, I think this is the one I'm showing you. Here's another iteration without Ferak, and we can also even see Shala Drusilla Pally, which I told you is going to be back on the menu soon. This is the more aggressive variant. I'm pretty sure the Drunk variant is also going to be back on the menu sooner rather than later, but for now I'm not sure we're seeing it. Here's one actually, not exactly amazing so far however, but it is a weird imbue variant, so there's that too. On the number 2 spot, we actually have Handbuff Death Knight being the best Death Knight deck right now, and yeah, it was to be expected. Death Knight did not get anything near for it, even though it was a pretty solid class already, and this one has literally 0 support from the mini set, 0 support from the buffs. It's just strong and it did not get nerfed. Right now the meta is not super quick, so it can definitely handle the early game aggression, and after that a lot lot of opponents cannot handle the mid-game bullshittery this deck is trying to serve. Again, I do have a guide about this deck from not too long ago. It is from the previous meta, but tonight I might actually give you an updated guide about this one, so be on the lookout for that. But until then, let's hop on down to the matchups and see what that do, and everything from the popular matchups is hella green. We are gonna need a little bit more stats to really make some grand conclusions here, but for now things are looking pretty bright for them. As for the mulligan, here's what it's going like. You are gonna want your early game board presence, so you're not completely out of the water. The Chill Fallen Baron is definitely amazing for you, because the bigger the hand is, the bigger the hand buff shenanigans are gonna be for you. Amateur Puppeteer, especially if you're curving it, would be your best hand buff card. Brittlebone Buccaneer, if it sticks, would be awesome. Sanguine Infestation is a lot of good card draw for you. The Toy Snatching Geist is definitely worth it, because it basically gives you another minion instead of it, so you're still actually doing something while putting something on the board. The rest probably not so hot though, so don't get baited into keeping hand buff stuff too early. And on the coin, again, plenty of the same stuff. Try to get card draw, try to be on the board, that kind of stuff. Before we talk about other good Death Knight decks, let's talk about the other best Hearthstone deck right now, which is also Menagerie Death Knight, which is pretty much in the same boat as the last one. Nothing got buffed for it, nothing got nerfed for it, and nothing from the mini set really helped it, but it was just a very strong deck, and it still is one of the best out there. That is why this was the deck I actually gave you a guide about, or more like I gave you gameplay right after the patch came through, and yeah, the deck is just still broken. I do have, again, a guide about it from not too long ago, so definitely take a look at that, but the deck really is not that hard to really pilot well. Your mentality should be in the first 5 to 6 turns you're trying to build boards, chip the opponent's face, and after turn 5 or 6 you start massaging the face area as hard as you can with plenty of burn damage in the form of Corpsicles, in the form of Foam Render, Horizon's Edge, Ghoul's Night, that kind of stuff. You also even have Infested Breath, so if the opponent is the lowest health enemy, you might start sucking through taunts even, so that could be awesome. Observer of Mysteries is an amazing anti-tempo card, so this way you could be protecting your white board in the early turns, as well as preventing the opponent from developing much. So yeah, all around the deck is a very well-oiled machine, and you should be having no problems climbing with this one. For the matchups, again, very green stuff. Taunt Warrior might be a problem, but then again, who plays that? Some of the other Death Knight decks, however, could be a problem indeed, so be careful if you're seeing too many of those. Mulligan-wise, again, try to be curving out on the board as fast as you can. Try to build a nice white board so you can buff it with the Menagerie Jug around turn 4 or 5. Planting an early game Brittlebone Buccaneer could be absolutely broken. That kind of stuff. It's really not that complicated. And on the coin, again, try to be curving out, build the white board, start buffing it, start winning. For other good Death Knight decks, we can also see Leech Death Knight is up there with a very small sample size, however. We have some other lists of Menagerie Death Knight, very small sample size, but this is the hand buff I showed you, 6%, 1100 games, and definitely nothing to scoff at. And this is the Menagerie Death Knight I'm showing you, 9000 games, 59% win rate. Kinda crazy, not gonna lie. And that's not even the only variant with amazing stats, like this one has a tenor with 58, here's another one with pretty decent sample size, but this is actually Leech Death Knight, so yeah, Leech Death Knight definitely is also worth checking out, especially if you prefer the little bit more control-y playstyle. Next up we have still Imbued Druid, which it's not really surprising it's still a good deck. Yes, it got nerfed, and not very lightly at that, like 3 different cards got nerfed for it, and all of them were pretty important for the deck, but the deck was just too good, and to be fair, it still is. It's not as good, but it's still very much amongst the best decks, especially from Diamond to Legend. Symbiosis no longer gives you the discount, but it's not that big a deal. Sing Along Buddy is now free mana, again, not that big a deal, even though you did actually like dropping this guy around turn 4 with a hero power. Nowadays, that's not gonna be as easy to do. And we also have Shaladrusil, which is now an 8 mana, but Ferak still gets you covered on that front. Not to mention, you could also discover yourself extra Shaladrusils, especially through the help of something like Horn of Plenty, so it's not that hard to actually still corrupt it and get the big boy stuff out of it. Again, check out my detailed guide about this one if you really want to get to know what you want to be doing and what each card does in the deck. But for now, let's see what are the updated matchups for this one. Not that much sample size with this one here, but let's see if something more populated is up there with good win rate, however. And here's something with 55-ish% win rate, 4400 games. Yeah, let's see how that go. And yeah, Fishing Priest again seems to be the counter to this deck. Koro could be a little bit problematic, but everything else pretty good. On the mulligan, you're still looking for your good early game cheap spells, you're still looking for the good early game cheap imbue cards, and depending on the matchup, even Emidrasil might make the cut, but this is for matchups where you know you're gonna need a lot of value and need to be greedy. Do not keep this if the matchup warrants for you to go hard on the board early. And on the coin, again, cheap spells, imbue cards, that kind of stuff. For other good druid decks, we're also seeing something of a dollhouse druid emerging, so this is basically spell damage druid back on the menu again it seems, but you're gonna see plenty of other imbue druids before we see anything else again, and here is the dollhouse druid with a bit more respectable sample size. It's looking interesting, but I doubt it's gonna be a very easy deck for most people to do well with, so keep that in mind, but it's definitely something you might want to be checking out if you're missing spell damage druids from not too long ago. I've also been seeing some Sky Mother of Yana bullshittery emerging lately. It does seem to be not that amazing of a deck, but people are enjoying the random bullshittery it is serving. I'm not even seeing it, man. Let me actually search for it. Yeah, there they are, all of them under 50%, so yeah, it's kind of a bullshit meme deck in it. And on the last spot, this could have been Fishing Priest if we gotta be completely honest. As you saw, plenty of the decks are actually getting countered by Fishing Priest, so you could check out my last top 5 if you wanna hear a little bit more about that one. But Core Rogue is actually doing well in Diamond to Legend as well as Top Legend, so as long as you're actually good with this deck, you should be even able to reach top 1000 Legends, so that is why I'm including it into this top 5. The deck is pretty interesting. It's actually revolving a lot around pirate bullshittery, and you could be doing some really broken things like Lucky Comet to get yourself your next combo minion to triple up, and the best minion to triple up would be Bargain Bin. And if you combo this off with the location, the Crystal Cove, suddenly you get a turn 3 or turn 4 free 5/5s with Rush, which is actually kind of broken. You can also be abusing the Crystal Cove with the help of Water Cannon. You also have Shaladrisil in here, which you could corrupt with the help of Firak. And you could actually use Sandbox Scoundrel to discount Firak by free, so technically on turn 6, you could be playing Firak, which does indeed corrupt Shaladrisil, if it's in your hand that is, because it would be a 6 mana Firak into a 5 mana Shaladrisil, and the corruption happens before this thing goes back to 8 mana after the Scoundrel, so that would be a pretty cool way to do it. You have plenty of card draw with the help of Toyboat, and all of your random pirates you have, not random, but a bunch of pirates basically. The Sailboat Captain could be pretty broken, especially comboed off with Hose and Roughhouser. So again, I might actually do an updated guide about this one really soon, so be on the lookout for that on the channel or on the live streams. For the matchups, we can see Menagerie Death Knight not that hot, Big Demon Hunter as well as on the negative, but everything else is 50-50 or very good for ya. And as for the mulligan, here's what the situation is. Dig for Treasure is always going to be amazing because you do indeed have plenty of pirates. Your Space Rock Collector ain't too bad. The Crystal Cove is definitely integral for your game plan. The Lucky Comet could be absolutely broken. Straight up Bargain Bin could be a consideration, especially if you have some of the supporting cards. Toyboat could also be cool, especially if you manage to actually tempo it out and the opponent can't handle it. Raiding Party is nice. The Prep can help you actually do Raiding Party on 1 or Lucky Comet, that kind of stuff. The rest probably not so hot though. And on the coin, again, trying to curve out with Dig, with the Cove, with the Space Rock, that kind of stuff. For other good rogue decks, plenty of different core rogues at the top. We can see Protoss Rogue is still definitely up there, even though they still call it core rogue. What is up with core rogue, man? Like, why are you even calling this core rogue? This is Pirate Rogue, this is Protoss Rogue. Like, what the hell is this core rogue? Yes, it runs freaking Backstab and Shadow Step and Prep. Like, what the fuck? It's not like that's the game plan of the deck, is it? We can also see Cycle Giant Rogue, which I do have a guide about doing pretty well, but again, it's far from a fundamental Hearthstone deck, so be careful crafting too much for it. Ashamain Rogue is up there as well. Plenty of different rogue decks up there, man. Plenty of different rogue decks, so if you're into that class, you can definitely have a lot of fun with it in today's day and age. For the classes we haven't mentioned, starting off with Demon Hunter, honestly, I could have included Demon Hunter both with Big Demon Hunter as well as Menagerie Demon Hunter, but as you see, Menagerie Demon Hunter, not that big a sample size. I could have included it, I actually did include it, and after that replaced it with Rogue, but yeah, apparently you could be doing pretty well with this one. It's kind of like the Fishing Priest in terms of playstyle and what you're gonna be countering with it, so you can definitely be climbing some easy ranks with this one. And Big Demon Hunter is also still pretty big. As I said, we are moving back to the Quillbore shenanigans, given that the Cliff Dive now is a 7 mana, so you can't be scamming when super early. Apparently Armor Demon Hunter is also coming back. Oh no, what have you done, Hearthstone? We can also see other iterations of Big Demon Hunter, and this is the one that's really solid right now. Like, look at this, 4,400 games, 56 plus win rate, and it's looking pretty close to what it used to. For Hunters, Buff Hunter is coming back on the menu as well. No more imbue shenanigans with this one, but it's going back to its roots with things like Mythical Room Bear, and apparently Bumbling Bellhop is also up there, but it does feel a little bit on the weird side. It comes with a restriction that you need to have either Furious Fowls or Shaladrisil in here so you can actually split split it up, well, I guess Death Roll also works. But the thing is, if you're having too many minions in this deck, Reserve Spot might not be as hot, but then again, if you don't have any minions in the hand, that's also pretty crappy. Token Hunter is also playable, Zerg Hunter is okay, Discover Hunter barely above 50, the rest not so hot. I do believe some kind of Imbue Hunter is gonna emerge sooner rather than later, but let the hunters cook, guys. For mages, Protoss Mage definitely is top tier right now. I did include it into the latest top 5. So far it's not that popular, but it's definitely hella strong, definitely hella annoying to play against. I know a lot of people are not happy about this deck rising in popularity again, but yeah, the deck for sure is hella strong right now. You have a lot of control, a lot of armor gain, a lot of random bullshit spells, and at the end you have a lot of Colossus damage. Other than that, not much else has been happening for Mage lately. The Imbue package has not been super cash money for them, so there's that. With Priests, as I said, Fishing Priest definitely could have made it into this top 5. Here it is, almost 58% win rate, almost 2000 games. This one is insanely popular, and all of them are super quick, not hard to play, and very effective. Protoss Priest apparently is also definitely very playable again, 52%, nothing amazing, but 10,000 games definitely ain't too bad, and Imbue Priest so far is still absolutely dog water. For Shamans, Asteroid Shaman would be the name of the game right now. Murmur Shaman is definitely playable, however, but if I had to choose something, it has to be Asteroid Shaman, so you can check that guide out as well. With Warlocks, Location Warlock is at the top with a small sample size. Space Warlock with Death Wheel is not that bad right now, several different iterations of it. Wallow Warlock still pretty much close to 50% or straight up under it, so be careful crafting too much for that one. And last but not least, or is it, we have Terran Warrior with a respectable 55% win rate, 2500 games, and this deck is countering Fishing Priest and such, so if you're sick of those, this might be the deck for you. Several different iterations of it. This one is more of a Taunt Warrior though, whereas this one is with Jim Raynor and such, so definitely not the same thing. But yeah, if you're playing Warrior, it's gonna be either Terran Warrior or Taunt Warrior. So that's gonna be it for this top 5, guys. Hope this helps figure out what you want to be playing in the new Hearthstone meta. Don't forget to check out Raid Shadow Legends if you want to support the channel for free, and you can also download HS Deck Tracker from my link, again, if you want to support the channel for free. Thanks for watching, I'm Kris05, and I'll see you in my next video or stream.